wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with a real, you hit in the front, so you get my meals. I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Come with a dank, scrolling in the tank, rolling with the gang. You sit and I on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
It's pregnant. Woo! News is broke.
Yep. We're
Got
having
it out
a
the
son.
way. We're having a son. Nick, break the news for us.
Levi Onwuzurike re-signs with the Detroit Lions.
Bam, bam,
Fellas,
bam.
1 year, the $5.5 million, I believe. Thoughts on the signing?
I want to say love it, but I like it. I really
Yeah.
do. Levi had his first healthy year last year. I thought it was going to be a bigger year than we were given based off his camp production. I'm telling you guys, he was tearing camp up. I really don't know what happened in the regular season compared to what I saw in camp, but I still think he's pretty solid in the regular season as well. Ali McNeil's gone for the first, like we said, probably 4 weeks, maybe longer, maybe shorter, who knows. But
What's up, Steve-O?
And then there's a guy that plays outside, inside. That versatility, as my brother Spinning likes to say, is very important to this Detroit Lions team.
Yeah, there was a skinnier, handsome, debonair, intelligent individual on this very show yesterday that said he wanted Brad Holmes to sign defensive tackle depth in free agency. And there was a skinnier, handsome, debonair, intelligent individual who is currently the GM for the Detroit Lions, and he signed 2 defensive tackle depth pieces since we've been on air.
Debonair don't care.
Yeah, debonair don't care. And so shout out. I mean, you needed to do this. Like the defensive tackle spot was extremely thin with who you had on there. And now you bring in Roy Lopez from the Cardinals, who started 16 games last year. You bring back Levi Onwuzurike, who looked good in the games that he was given and the run he was given for the Detroit Lions last year. You got Wingo coming back from injury. You've got DJ Reader. I think that's enough to keep you afloat until Ali McNeil's ready to go. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the signings.
And the difference with this one,
Shout out
too,
to
is
Roy Lopez.
Yeah. Roy
Roy
Lopez, we'll talk about that one as well. We got Scott Bischoff joining the show as well at the 5:30. But the Levi Onwuzurike, I think, where you can separate this from the Marcus Davenport stuff is like we've gotten at least a whole healthy season out of this guy.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you could turn away from being negative about it. And plus, it's another one of those things, 1 year up to 5-something. So I doubt it's just straight up $5 million, 5.5 or
5.5 million, yep.
Yeah, so I doubt it's like just a straight 5.5. I guarantee it's like $2 million and some incentives.
Yeah, and this is something that we kind of forgot about as Lions fans, how many players the Lions are losing. Like, not key pieces or anything like that, but just a lot of their depth. A lot of the practice squad guys, you can see that a lot of them are free agents, and we're seeing now they brought back both those 2 linebackers, Anthony Pittman and Ezekiel Turner, as depth pieces and practice squad and special teams guys. They re-signed Levi Onwuzurike per Ian Rappaport. They signed Grant Stewart, a linebacker from the Colts, per our guy Doc Maroon of Detroit Sports Podcast.
Doc Macaroon.
And Doc Macaroon, yeah, excuse me. And they are in talks or potentially they're expected to bring back Craig Reynolds to a 1-year deal per Dave Burkett. So they're shoring up that depth. They're adding pieces to fill spots on the roster, and that's what you needed them to do. I think obviously Levi Onwuzurike and Roy Lopez are, like, we're not saying these are world beaters and, oh, well, there we go. We got the best defensive line in the NFL. No, but they're good depth rotational pieces, and that's what you needed.
Nick, how are you feeling, my friend?
Bargain bin Brad. No, I'm just kidding. I like this
you're
move
not.
a
You're
lot.
right.
I mean, yeah.
That's what he is.
Brad told you he doesn't want to lose his guys, and Levi was basically, he was his baby. I mean, this is the first guy that really, he had to go out of his way to go draft because Penei Sewell fell in your lap in your first draft. This was really the first big pick for Brad Holmes. I thought Penei Sewell was, obvious, like clear as day.
Yeah.
Best tackle, going to be a great player. Levi Onwuzurike, on the other hand, he almost traded up for Levi Onwuzurike. but he had to deal with all of these injuries. And then we hear the hype train coming whole offseason about Levi Onwuzurike and during camp and everything. But you know what? I went back and looked at it. He actually started the season really well when he was playing with Aiden Hutchinson, when he was playing with Aleem and DJ Reader. So that gets me excited.
That's probably the difference for
He
Cam.
had one and a
for
half.
sure.
He had 1.5 sacks throughout 4 games, but he had a half a sack in each of. He had 3. Excuse me. He had a half sack in 3 of the 4 games to start the season in 2024. He ended the season with those 1.5 sacks. Expect Levi to bounce back with Hutch back, DJ Reader, and Aleem back.
And Marcus Davenport. One of those half sacks
Great
he
point.
got was with Marcus Davenport.
Yep.
I remember watching him split against the Rams. They were on Matthew Stafford's ass, and that's why he had to get rid of the ball as soon as he snapped that thing.
Yeah, and it's if everybody stays healthy, you've got a very talented and dangerous defensive line. Key is if everybody stays healthy.
Yeah, and it's the big thing for me, and I think just looking forward for Brad signings is going to be versatile guys. I got to be honest with you guys too. Like I don't necessarily know that this is a true trait of Brad Holmes more than it is maybe the Detroit Lions. I mean, we talked about the ownership list. I got the guys, the richer teams can make these mysterious cap moves. They keep signing these guys despite being negative or being pretty damn close to it. The Detroit Lions, out of all the NFL owners, are in the bottom half. I believe they're the bottom 10, if I'm not mistaken. We looked at it. 25th. That's what I'm looking at right now. $2 billion in net worth. This is just how we have to operate. I think it's something you have to accept. I don't think we have to shit on Brad for it. If anything, in some form or fashion. And again, I'm a guy that will criticize Brad when he does something I disagree with. But you got to praise the man. He's been able to build what he's built with those, like, I can't for sure say, but
Bargain bin deals.
yeah, limitations.
Yeah.
And it's honestly phenomenal. And, like, kudos to Sheila, or kudos to Chris Spielman as well, who helped her with the hiring of finding Brad, who's just absolutely knocking shit out of the park when it comes to the draft, because we're just going to have to be that kind of team. I think we just have to accept that for now.
Yeah, and that's what they want to do. And, like, when he is drafting Pro Bowlers and All Pros consistently in the draft, that's where you're going to get your deals. That's where you you wanted him to sign a $40 million a year defensive end. Okay, wait, literally at the end of the year, he's going to. You wanted him to sign a $30 million a year receiver. Okay, he already did. You wanted him to sign a running back for $15 to $20 million a year. Okay, wait one more year, and he will. Like, when you draft those guys, you're going to have to pay them. And now you have to use free agency to get deals and get depth. And that's what we talked about it yesterday. I know the Lions fan wants a splash signing. I know the Lions fan wants him to bring in somebody like a Trey Hendrickson or a Myles Garrett or a Max Crosby. So do I. I would love for that to happen. He's tried to make that happen. He has tried to bring in one of those guys. He has seen that it's not fiscally reasonable for him to do that, because to find a guy that is a difference maker in the prime of his career and not coming off of a major injury that'll sign for a 2-year contract with not a lot of guaranteed money at a discount to market is extremely impossible.
Breaking news dropping, Nick. I'm sorry. This is the news I needed. Kevin Zeitler, 1-year deal to the Detroit Lions.
Let's go. Yes.
Oh, fuck. No. I read that wrong.
Oh, no, easy.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Lions free agent guard Kevin Zeitler, one of the best and most durable free agent linemen left, is expected to sign with the Titans. Sources say a priority in Tennessee. He gets a 1-year, $9 million deal with family in Nashville and the opportunity to work with offensive lineman guru Bill Callahan.
What the fuck? Easy got us excited.
what the hell was that?
You couldn't give him 9, Brad?
Couldn't have read the tweet first
The news is out. We got the news out now.
before
We know what
hyping
it
us
is.
up.
That, I mean, you couldn't give the guy $9 million fucking dollars?
That sucks.
I mean, we got started.
Let him cook.
The guy. I've been cool. I've been real cool this whole fucking offseason. I've been defending a lot of shit
He's about to
this
crash out.
offseason. I'm trying not to,
Do
but
it,
like,
bro. Do it.
we
You said you would have gave him 12 yesterday.
yeah, I think he's worth it. You read that was for me and Rapport.
Mm-hmm.
Called him one of the best, most reliable offensive linemen, durable offensive linemen. Sounds like worth fucking $9 million when you want to win a goddamn Super Bowl. To me, just saying, you got a quarterback that's immobile. It's not a shot. It's not a diss. That's a fact. The truth of the matter. He's worse when the pressure's from the interior. This is bad. You got to in the division. They just signed Jonathan fucking. What's his last? I can't even think of his last name. Jonathan Allen. I almost said Hankins. I don't know why I want to say Hankins so bad.
And Hargrave
on the same team.
Yeah.
I like Mahogany. I personally like Graham Glasgow, but I'm not going to lie. I'm going to keep it a buck. This ain't BDE. I'm going to tell you how I feel. And the truth of the matter, Graham got me a little bit nervous after last year. This is ass. That's garbage. That's a miss. Not going to lie. Maybe that's just me. I mean, where you guys at? Offensive guard was my number one. We just went over the shopping list yesterday. Mm-hmm. I had guard number one on my list.
Yeah.
And the most durable, reliable, and best guy on the market, you just let walk. Who loved it here, by the way?
Love to hear you.
I don't know. Just trying not to crash out.
Crash out.
Nah, man.
$9 million is all it took for the Titans to get Graham Glasgow. Kevin Zeitler.
Boo!
Yeah. Kevin Zeitler officially signing, well, not officially yet, but is expected to sign with the Tennessee Titans for $9 million a year. That means they got a lot of faith in Christian Mahogany and Graham Glasgow going forward.
I guess so.
Graham Glasgow is already going to be here. Christian Mahogany, I believe, is ready to
go.
That
wasn't a fucking open market $20 million, fucking $9 million.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
That's just fucking garbage.
Big Perm says overreaction much.
Big Parm.
The cheese industry. The cheese industry is coming after us in the chat. Big Parm in there. Big Parm, not Big Worm, says overreaction much.
No. Not at all.
I was trying to give him a crash out and I made him laugh.
I'm not going to crash out because I love Brad and I've been preaching to patience. So, I want to stay on track with that. But this is an L. This is probably the biggest loss of the offseason, maybe outside of Zadarius Smith. Maybe more than Zadarius Smith.
Haven't we said, though, that you can put anybody between Frank Ragnow and Penei Sewell and have success?
Yeah, we did.
And we've seen Yodi, Dan Skipper, Christian Mahogany, all those guys in that position at that right guard spot. And when they were in there, even Graham Glasgow, when they were in there, they had a lot of success. I would like to see, personally, Graham Glasgow at the right guard and Mahogany at the left guard.
Spinny's alien bride, Eazy. I'm going to instant message Zeitler's wife on Insta now.
You should have. Maybe you should have.
No.
Maybe you could have saved it.
Murdered.
You could have saved it.
Yep.
This one's on you.
It's all your fault.
I don't know. Eazy fell in love with team, not the players. I am in love with my team. That's why I'm upset my team got worse today. You lost a damn good guard, Kevin Zeitler. You can't say they did it.
Would you rather have let Levi walk to keep Kevin Zeitler?
Yes. Levi's a rotational guy, depth guy. Zeitler's a fucking starter. Sorry, I don't mean to get snappy at you. I'm just fucking.
What the fuck, Nick?
Yeah.
Don't fuck up reading a tweet.
Maybe I'm overreacting.
Again, no, I don't think you're over. It's okay to be upset by that.
How about you, Spenny?
I'm not I have faith in Glasgow and in Mahogany to be your starting guards next year. I think Glasgow was banged up. I do. I think that's why he played poorly at the end of the year. And like I said, we've seen Christian Mahogany in the right guard spot. We've seen Yodi Osaka in the right guard spot. We've seen Graham Glasgow in the right guard spot. We've seen Dan Skipper in the right guard spot, and they've all looked well at that spot. And it helps when you're in between arguably the best center in the NFL and inarguably the best tackle in the NFL. So would I like to have Kevin Zeitler? Yes, he's a good player. Is it this end of the world thing? No, I think really I don't want to be like an asshole and say that anybody can play there, but
it's not in the world.
That is the play. That is the single position on the Detroit Lions that has the most insulation out of any spot in the entire organization is right guard. So I would like to see Graham move back to right guard where he had a lot of success. He played very well at right guard, and then put Christian Mahogany at that left guard spot next to Decker, which he played last year when Graham was out and had success.
He was, according to PFF, the third best run blocking guard in the NFL last year and the fifth overall best guard in the NFL last year. However, he did rank 32nd out of 135 in pass blocking.
Kevin Zeitler?
Kevin Zeitler, yeah.
And remember what Jonah Jackson was when he was at that right guard spot? He was one of the best run-blocking guards in the NFL.
You're right. But I would
Maybe
even
it
say,
helps being in between Frank and Penne. That's all. I'm not saying Kevin Zeitler's not a good piece, and I would like to have him there, and I would be happy to have him there. But I think that is, like I said, a very insulated position on this team.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'd say, and you're right, and that's why I'm calm down as well, too, because I've said that myself. It's an observation I've made. I feel like anyone they put in there has kind of worked out. That's why I never really wanted to do the whole draft offensive lineman in the first round, like two, and last year as well, too. I wanted to address the defense. Mm-hmm. I will say, though, Zeitler looking an upgrade over Jonah at that point, you know?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Like you said, they all looked fine there either way. I'm going to try to compose myself. We'll get more mad about it.
I kind of want you to get more mad about it.
I know.
200 likes and he'll crash out.
Shout out to Jars Canvas for keeping me calm throughout this, but also to shout out my guy Mark White, because whether you're buying or selling a brand new home, we can save you up to $5 million.
$5 million?
In the closing costs of said home. Just visit markwhitesells.com or dial up 248-290-8242. It's markwhitesells.com, 248-290-8242.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness, the home of the judgment-free zone where anybody can get a full-body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of that for just $15 a month. Upgrade to the Black Card and get you some amenities like hydro massage, total body enhancement, and access to over 2,500 locations around the world. PlanetFitness.com. Join in club or online. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Just like you said, Malik Willis at 2. Yeah, I did. Okay, what's wrong with that? They didn't take him. I didn't say I didn't want Hutchinson at 2. I just said if I was drafting.
What a mini! What of me? This is some wolves in sheep's clothing here at Woodward Sports. Whole lot of people talking a whole lot of shit. Don't tell no lie about me. I won't tell no truth about you. That's all I'm saying. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh. Collected myself a little bit, briefly. I don't you can't lose Kevin Zeitler. You were over here at the break. He took money over contending shit or whatever for being a contender. Brad Holmes did the same thing. Instead of giving them more money and locking yourself in at the contender spot, you let him walk for what, $3 more million?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't even want him back. I mean, I don't know. But, you had to have wanted him back. It was great last year.
Yeah, he was.
You're not even breaking double digits.
No.
And also, too, with the cap going up, you basically could have signed him for free with the cap going up $20 million. It's not like you – and the Lions have cap space. So, it's to me, it's just questionable. I'm not – see how it plays out. But doesn't make sense to me right now.
The Dole Spoon. Easy. I don't know if you want to do this like you've never said anything. That's not the point here, brother. We all say things.
We all say things that are wrong.
I don't lie and pretend like I didn't. I don't hide and attack others like I wasn't up here saying the same exact shit. That's what we're spreading right now. The people that, I always loved golf. Golf. Lying motherfuckers is what they are.
Yeah, we've all been wrong. You're going to be wrong in this business. You got to
conveyor belt of opinions. Bad one's gonna come.
Kevin Zeitler is the most important player. The Detroit.
Yeah.
Burn in the Woodward Sports Chat says the illegal helmet-to-helmet unlocked mobile golf. Golf can use Gear 4 now. That's why we don't need Zeitler. Hey, I like it. I don't. I don't like it. Yeah, it was a joke, man.
Wow. Sorry, man.
Fuck you. We don't need him.
We do.
We don't need him.
Maybe there's some coming. There's got to be something coming. There's still money on the table. These are like little knick-knack
pokes.
Yeah, little tiny little like pieces that we're grabbing here. He might be trying to get the Henderson cat. Who knows? That could be the take I'm wrong about. Well, I mean, because what are we waiting for? I mean, why do you let that guy walk? I guess I could totally understand a lot of the big name stuff. That's a lot of fucking money, and a lot of those guys didn't even fit the scheme. This guy fit your scheme and in the money, but it was all there for you, Nick.
And it was a 1-year deal. I mean, that's the biggest thing to me. This guy didn't get term, and we want to talk about signing future free agents. This guy got a 1-year deal, and we've seen Goff when pressure gets to him. It's not pretty. He's not that mobile quarterback. Obviously, Ben Johnson let you know about that millions of times in the media.
Mm-hmm.
We all saw what happened in that playoff game.
Yeah.
Graham Glasgow got beat up, and he is now your starting guard for sure. And Mahogany, he looked pretty good at times.
Mm. Do
you think this is just a clear as day downgrade at offensive line now with Graham and Mahogany slated to start?
I'm a big Mahogany fan. I guess I wanted a larger sample size of that. Is that fair?
I don't know. Like, how can you get a larger sample size of that if he's not a starter?
Well, exactly. You didn't get that last year. But to head into the next season, like, this is it. I guess I would rather have, and I guess you could go cheaper there too. Like, there's probably some other guys you grab, and Mahogany's definitely still gonna be better than them. But the other side, wherever you decide to put,
it's gonna be Graham. Graham's gonna be on the right
for sure.
I would almost put Chris's life on it.
No, for sure, he'll be on the right.
I'd easily put Chris's life on it.
I'd put my life on it.
Yeah, Graham Glasgow, like, he was originally a right guard. He was more comfortable on that right side.
So the two Decker did look kind of bad at times too.
And like I said, I think Graham was banged up at the end of the year. So I think he's going to bounce back and have a great year at right guard. And I have faith that Christian Mahogany is a great starting guard.
Yeah.
I have a lot of faith in Christian Mahogany.
I've been in that too. I just think it's nice to have a contingency.
Easy. Are the Lions clearing cap space for one to-be free agent, Cooper Kupp?
Oh, you want to see me crash out? You want to see me crash out? Sign Cooper Kupp and I'll crash the fuck out. Letting Zadarius Smith walk. We were signing fucking Cooper Kupp to an offense that's been operating as top fucking 2 to 3 without another goddamn. It's a very fucking stupid hypothetical. That's what it is. That I'd be pissed off. I would be mad. I would be pissed off. Yes. I guess depending what the contract would look like, but I just feel like there are other positions I need before we even touch the fucking offense. And if we are touching the offense, I'm looking at a X wide receiver or somebody on the offensive line, not a goddamn banged up slot guy. Yeah, what guy? That's just where I'm at with it. Tanking for Arch Manning. Let's go, baby. This is Burn. $2. Unfortunately, the Detroit Lions, for you guys that want to tank for Arch Manning, Detroit Lions are still going to be very good.
Yes.
I still think they'll make the playoffs.
They're still going to win the North.
I'm going to reel back on the expectations we had for them last year when we were talking about a Super Bowl. Now I'm gonna wait and see approach. I don't think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
You guys
want to see
offense.
how the new coordinators look. You want to see
exactly.
how the guys come back from injury, for sure. Were you in a better spot at this time last year when it comes to winning a Super Bowl? Yeah,
by far,
for sure. You had a lot of continuity in the coaching staff, a lot of continuity in the players, but they're not in a bad spot. They're still one of the best teams in the NFL. I expect them to win the North. I expect them to be a Super Bowl contender.
JB fucking around. Whatever. DNC, I like that take actually. I hate it as a Lions fan, but he says Cooper Kupp is going to the Bears to replace Keenan Allen and B. Ben's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like that would make sense, and that's why I think of Cooper Kupp as like another version of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Maybe at one point in his career, a better version of Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is crazy to say because Amon-Ra is already an All-Pro, but that's also when he was tagged up with Matthew Stafford, who was fucking balling at the time as well.
Dude, the video of sorry, this is totally off topic.
No, you're good.
The video of Bonnie Blue at Cancun when she's like dancing around all those guys and they're like all flirting with her reminds me of like chum in the water and shark circling because they're all like, we know we can hit, so they're like trying super hard.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, but I just saw it on Twitter, so I'm high right now.
I am too. I think that's another reason why I didn't get as mad.
Thanks, Jars. He saved us from an easy crash out.
Yeah, I know. I was ready to crash out on Unky Neal, all them guys.
Yeah.
Would you be upset
if what?
If they went and got Cooper Kupp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I would. You say that a lot.
What if it's a cheap
Ryan
deal?
have been looking at the tape.
Yeah.
What if it's
I would.
What if it's a cheap deal? So
cheap deal. I like
cheap deal. What?
$5 to $10 million.
No. If it's anywhere over $9 million, I'd be upset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you pay Cooper Kupp $10 million and you Cooper Kupp $10 million and you didn't re-sign Zeitler and you cut Zadarius Smith, I would be extremely upset.
If we're signing a wide receiver, I want it to be an ex wide receiver. Not,
yes.
JV tried to get Nick to crash out.
Ex wide receiver.
What's he talking?
Where you at with it, Nicholas? I know you're great. That's a great white hope.
For sure, the Great White Hope right there. I mean, I thought St. Brown was going to come close to that record. I mean, if it's for a cheap deal, I don't mind him as a wide receiver 3. I mean, I just think he's a good player, and you find a spot to put a good player. If he's healthy, he puts up damage, and he can cook anybody off the line at any time. I think that's just a fact about Cooper Kupp.
No.
So if he's a good player, maybe he's not the big 6'4", wide out, go up and get it type guy. But
because that's the position of need.
A good player will find a way on the field to help your team win.
But if you're free agenting BPA, like that's what you do for the fucking draft. I'm not mad at you right now. I'm just
get it.
We're not going to sign Cooper Kupp.
Shit. Your boy Neil Soar said so.
Just Cooper.
Just
Flag.
like Aaron Glenn gonna sign with the Saints too, huh?
Not Jesus, man.
Just saying.
No.
Telling the truth. No.
I'll be pissed too if we sign Cooper Kupp and let these two, Zeitler and Zadarius Smith, walk. Are you kidding me?
What about Josh?
Shout out to Peaceful Tim in the Woodward Sports Chat with the 5 gifted subs.
Shout out to Peaceful Tim,
the GOAT.
That's awesome.
What? No, they're not signing Cooper Kupp. Am I?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I would. You say it like that. Yeah, I think they would like. I would like them to extend Zeitler, but I'm comfortable with Graham Glasgow and Christian Mahogany as your guards. I am.
Graham Glasgow and Zeitler.
Christian Mahogany.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's go to break. When we get back, hopefully we connect with our guy Scott Bischoff.
Yeah, I'm like a divorced kid.
You are like a divorced kid. Honestly, it's your mom's fault. Seriously, if she had to open her mouth up between 11 and 1.
A divorced kid of a gay marriage feels like both dads are yelling.
Well, I asked my chat earlier, I'm like, what am I supposed to? I'm just supposed to sit here and let this guy just say shit, like bullshit, by the way, too? Like
No, but you can't make yourself out to be the hero either.
No, I was fucking around when I said that.
Yeah.
No, you gotta stand up for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, like,
no, it's valid.
Yeah.
You can't let people lie on your name.
Yeah, I can't lie. I mean, that's the craziest part to it, to me, honestly, is Scott on.
Let me see. Yes.
Okay, we'll go to break.
Yeah. All right.
Manu says Mike Hard 313.
Yeah. We'll talk to Scott about that.
Let me tell you about some merch. The best place to get merch is at woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab today. They got hoodies, tees, hats, all of that guaranteed to turn heads. So head on over to woodwardsports.com and get some brand new Detroit sports merch today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the dealer of the year for 6 consecutive years. Get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew for just $199 a month. And you can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $249 a month. Come see George Hawes and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi today.
We are not playing a stick video from break today, or
more.
from this one, just because we got a special guest joining the show. That's Scott Bischoff, NFL draft analyst. I've been breaking down this draft every Thursday with this man. Scott, I gotta ask you this, just as a ball knower. Yay!
What's up, Scott?
I gotta ask you as a ball knower, man. I was kind of upset about us not returning Kevin Zeitler. I didn't like what I saw to Graham Glasgow to close the season, and I don't know what the backup plan is. Am I like allowed to be a little bit butthurt about that?
You can be whatever you want to. I mean, yeah, but like,
where are you at with
I don't think Zeitler played to this unreplaceable guy level last year. He was good. But he gave up some sacks, he gave up a bunch of pressures.
Yeah.
It's obvious that with the money in the guard market, as crazy as it's been, for Tennessee to give him what is reported that they gave him, and the Lions not to match that, that's a tell, I mean, if Kevin Zeitler's a really good football player, but I think his better stuff is behind him. I think it's important to remember how good Graham Glasgow was at right guard 2 years ago, where he played at a pretty high level. I'm not going to say, I mean, I think it's a little hyperbolic to say he was better than Zeitler, but I don't think it's a huge drop off. And then you have Christian Mahogany stepping in there. And then you have Awasika, who I think is a very capable player. So, in the end, guard's not a super difficult position to replace. I mean, if you were losing a tackle, especially in this class, it'd be a significant problem. But I don't think I'll just sum it up this way. I think them returning Onwuzurike was a little more important than them returning Zeitler.
Wow,
I know Zeitler got more money, but I don't think Aleem McNeil starts the regular season on the active roster. I think he's going to start on PUP for 4 to 6 weeks. That's why I think Onwuzurike has a chance to play big minutes the first little bit of the season, and why it's so important for him to return. But I mean, I think they have in-house options already at guard, and they didn't really at interior D line. So I know it's a different player, and not the question you asked. But I don't think losing Zeitler is a killer. He's moving on. It's obvious the Lions weren't willing to meet whatever contract requirements there were, and it's not like it was a big requirement for 1 year. So that's a tell.
And that's what I said too. That was kind of my take, is that the right guard spot is maybe the most insulated position in football, definitely the most insulated position on the Detroit Lions team when you're in between Frank Ragnow and Penei Sewell. I don't want to say anybody can step in there and play well, but we've seen Graham Glasgow, Yodi, Dan Skipper at times step into that right guard spot and play well. I think it's more of a tell for what they think of Christian Mahogany, that I'm assuming he's going to be your starting left guard going forward. He looked good in the spots that he was given. Obviously, he was very good at Boston College. What do you expect out of him stepping into that starting role, it looks like now?
I would expect big things from him. He was one of the guys in the draft I was really fired up that they got where they got him. It'll be interesting to see how they flip the guard positions and whether Glasgow stays at left guard where he's been the last little while, or whether they put him back on the right side where he seemed to be better for the reason I think you listed, which is the insulation and just being able to play next to those two guys you mentioned is a big deal. And I think Mahogany is he's more capable in space player, and he's more powerful. The bummer is that the hope of this whole thing was that Glasgow was going to be your backup interior offensive lineman and your backup center, and you would feel like you upgraded. But, we still have the draft. This is not a great class where they're taking where they're going to be picking at 28 for guards, though. So there's one in particular where you would say, yeah, that's a run to the podium kind of move if they want a guard, but I don't know that they value him like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they position this between Glasgow and Mahogany, and then where it goes from there.
Scott, we did a mock draft just last Friday, and we were kicking back a few drinks, just having fun with it, 1 through 32. When we got to 28, James Pierce Jr. was there. And me personally, I just can't say no to the prospect. You are more in the loops than I am. I know there's some attitude stuff. There was a whole situation with him getting a pull over and having attitude too back in 23. What are some of the stuff being said about this kid, and why is he falling down draft boards? Do you expect him to even make it to 28, or is someone going to take a chance on him earlier?
I could see it. I could see some teams really valuing what he does. The questions for me, he's a really strange body. He's a very linear frame. He's 6'5", and he's sub 250. He's a better run defender right now than he is pass rusher. I think when he gets to the top of his rush where he has to turn the corner, he's very tight. I think he's pretty thin-hipped guy, so it's going to be tough to add mass to his frame. So that's some of the play stuff where you wonder, are the Lions even going to want, what his play style is? Are they intrigued by the player? And then you hear the stuff about him being a really, really difficult teammate. It would surprise me, honestly. It would surprise me if the Lions would take him, just because of their
track record,
how much they value character, right? Yeah. So it would surprise me if they did that. It just would.
You think he gets taken in the first round? Would he even make it to 28?
Yeah, I mean,
the Eagles
in a
are
scenario where there's a bunch of pass rushers who are gone. Yeah, I mean, he's the next guy up, right? So he does things. He's got a great first step. He's an explosive player. If you go back 2 years ago, he was really explosive. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough question to answer because it's tough to predict, the guys falling. But the Lions seem to be a very specific. They like the bigger edge guys. He's not that. Obviously, they'll like that he defends the run better right now than he is as a pass rusher. He's, at least, let's put it this way, he's more physical and he's more assertive as a run defender than he is as a pass rusher. So I'm not sure if the Lions really are going to covet what he brings to the table. And then the character stuff, which I feel it's always a bummer to talk like that, because it's not like I've ever talked to this kid and he's been Jackie, so I don't really know. I hear what other teams are saying, and I know at the combine there was a lot of talk around that. So
it didn't help he showed up without his shirt either. You can't tell me his agent didn't tell him. If I looked like
that, I wouldn't wear a shirt either.
He had the shirt, he had the hoodie on, but I'm saying they want that whatever sponsored shirt so they do the GPS tracking and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
But I'm with you. I'm shirtless either way.
Yeah.
You got more
walking around shirtless how I look now. Scott, I'm pretty convinced of it now that the Detroit Lions are going to trade up into the first round to get one of those edge pieces that you look around at maybe 15 to 20. If one of those guys drops closer to 20, I could see Brad Holmes moving up there and making one of those guys a Detroit Lion. If you were to say that who do you think that would be that target? Would it be a Shamar Stewart? Would he last to 17, 18, or are you looking at Mikael Williams, someone like that?
So I don't think Shamar Stewart falls really out of the top 10. There's just too much there. I know that I can feel the eyes rolling. He's a very good run defender right now. So when people knock him for not being productive, it's like, well, he's a really good run defender right now, like really good. And I think the pass rush stuff will come. I do wonder how much Texas A&M bulks their guys up. Nick Scorton had some things to say at the combine about that.
Scorton.
They all weigh considerably less too.
Yeah. So, but just from a traits standpoint, I can't see him really getting out of the top 10, and I think it's going to be tough to give up enough to get into the top 10 to get where you would need to go. I would love for them to do that. That's kind of a push your chips in kind of move. Mikael Williams, he would be interesting. He's a good football player at a blue chip place. I think again, this is the same conversation around Pierce. A player like Donovan Ezaraku, I think is an awesome football player. Has a unique, weird body as well. He's 6'2.5", but he has 34-inch arms. He has like a 6'10+ wingspan. So when you talk about arm length and coveting length at the defensive end position, he's got all that stuff. He's just a little shorter than you might prefer. He will play the run, but he's got all the pass rush stuff that you could possibly want. He's kind of a player I would think that they might be looking at. I think he's kind of a let's call him a bit of a twitched up Harold Landry, for lacking a real good way of describing his game. But he is like that. I think he bends a little better, and he's got more pass rush repertoire than Landry does. Landry's a good player. To me, that's the kind of move where you might have to go up 5 to 7 spots to go get him. But the problem picking at 28 is there's a scenario that unfolds where none of the edge players that are there you think are worth taking at 28, so that you might have to move to a different position in round one, which we're all going to be a little dismayed by it, a little bummed by it, but that's not what Brad Holmes does, right? So there's still a little bit out there in free agency. I know that they were talking to Von Miller. If you go into the season with Von Miller, Marcus Davenport, and let's call it a premium pick, a second round or before edge player opposite Hutchinson, I think that's pretty solid given what they've done.
Yeah.
So it's a unique class. It really is.
I wanted DeMarcus Lawrence. That was my guy. Obviously now he is with the Eagles. I thought he fit more of what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell like in an edge.
Is he at Philly or Seattle?
Oh, Seattle. Sorry, Seahawks.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. I was gonna say, whoa.
Yeah.
Boo.
What do you said Von Miller? Is that somebody you could see the Lions going after still?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's towards the end of his career. I don't think he's going to command a bunch of money or term. So, in a pass rusher role, yeah, please. I think he's a guy that can bring you some pressures. I mean, there are options that are still out there. I think you do need to bring something else in free agency. I wonder if Zadarius Smith may come back. I don't think that's likely, but I think he could. There were 3. The reason why they let him go is there were 3 option years on the back end of his contract that became guaranteed 7 days before the first game of the 2025 season, which you would have effectively been paying him around $12 million to play for you for 1 year. It's not going to be here in 2 years. So I wonder if he comes back here on with a reduced contract kind of thing. You never know. Something like that where you think Davenport and a veteran player and a draft pick is enough to throw at the position that you should get enough out of it. I think that makes sense.
A lot of mocks have been doing. Derek Harmon's been kind of making it to that back half. Would you like that pick at 28? I think he could bop around outside sometimes too. little Chris Jones.
Yeah, he can do all kinds of things. You know, it's always good to have bodies that you can rotate in and out on the inside. I mean, you see that with Lopez that they brought in. I think that's a really smart signing. And DJ Reeder's older, so you need bodies, right? And that signing in particular makes me wonder about Broderick Martin's future here. Mm-hmm. Certainly, it tells you that they're really not planning on getting much from him this year. But they need some interior pass rush. You gave Onwuzurike 1 year. Harmon would be a very, very nice replacement in the situation where Onwuzurike just can't get it right, or it doesn't give you what you think. And there's a way that this draft could play out where Harmon might be best available player at 28, and there's also a scenario where he may not make it to 28. So it's not a great draft, and it's a good draft at positions where the Lions simply have no needs. At running back, tight end, it's loaded, and then obviously on the D line, it's a really deep, good class. So that'll be good for Detroit. But everywhere else, it's a bit of a struggle to find premier players at the top of the draft.
And I'm sorry, Scott, but somebody paid to say this, so I am contractually obliged to say it. Mike Hilton in the Woodward Sports chat paid $2 to say I'm pooping.
Okay, what do we do?
So I mean, he paid for it, man. You got to put it out there. He paid for it.
Hope it goes well. It's good.
Yeah, Scott, I got someone I fell in love with in the draft, and this is a young man I could see me spending a serious amount of time with. This is a young man that has possibly some ties to the Detroit Lions, or could get in there. They sat down with him. Tate Ratledge, offensive guard out of Georgia. This kid, I had him mocked to the Lions in the 3rd round. It might be the mullet, it might be the mustache, or it might be the just absolute nasty performance he put on the combine, having over 9 as his RAS score. What do you see about Tate Ratledge? I think you need a backup piece on that offensive line interior. I feel like he would be a home run if you got him.
Yeah, but you're right. It's round 3 or later with him. First thing I'll tell you when watching him is the athleticism that he showed at the combine does pop on film, like especially with the RPOs that Georgia runs, where he's got to get out into space. He can do all that kind of stuff. So I think when you look at his ability to move outside zone stuff, I think he'd be pretty comfortable there. So you see the athleticism and all that stuff, but then you see some stuff in his general makeup and the way he goes about his business. And it starts with his stance, and it's his stance is really awkward. His footwork is not great. And I'll tell you, the over aggressive nature at times with which he plays, he has a tendency to throw both of his hands to punch at the same time. Mm-hmm. And when you do that and you miss, it's over. Right? You can't recover, right? So he's very overly aggressive. My thoughts are the Lions would get him out of those habits very quickly and teach him, if you're punching, you got to move your feet. It's almost like he's looking for knockout punches kind of things. Mm-hmm. But you can see him punching with both hands. There's an out of control kind of element that he brings. Maybe it's just overly aggressive. But there's some other stuff where you wonder, like, would he hold up in power concepts, because he takes really weird bad angles at times when he's pulling, or it's bad aiming points. So there's just situations where you're at Georgia. Georgia's a premier place, and there's a lot of like strange stuff with this game. But I think when I was worried that you were going to say as an early pick. No, you're talking round 3. I mean, you're talking pick 102 at this point.
Yeah.
To me, that makes sense for a player who is pretty athletic, my sense is that you probably could get him a little bit later than that, but I understand where you're at with him. He does, he is athletic. He's big. He is very assertive. He's all that stuff. It's just there's a lot to clean up there. I guess I'm not trying to kill the guy, but there's a lot to clean up there.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to ask about, and I'll let you get going here in like 5-6 minutes. I apologize, man. Another big man falling down the draft boards. Just kind of surprised by was Walter Nolan. He was once like one of those guys they were talking about top 15, top 20-ish. Now I see him falling down some of these big boards. What happened? What's going on?
It's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anytime stuff like this happens, you have to wonder what the meetings have been like with him. There was some talk in and around Senior Bowl times that there was character stuff with him. I don't know what any of that is. I don't know. Just connecting the dots on some of it, though. For a guy who gets off the ball the way he does, playing as a 3-tech, and maybe some of this is size-related stuff because he did come in a little bit lighter than maybe some teams would like. But, the other component is as quick as his get-off and his first step is, there isn't a lot of finish or polish to his game. I think he's one of those guys who's going to live in gaps, but not really understand once he's in gaps how to win and make plays behind the line of scrimmage. He's just going to be a pain in the ass because he's so quick. But there's room for, there's room on plenty of rosters for that kind of player. So he's one of those guys where I've asked some questions. I do not have an answer as far as is there off the field stuff with him. Haven't heard anything around it, but I did hear stuff in and around the Senior Bowl. At the same time, you heard stuff about Mike Green. There was stuff being talked about with Walter Nolan, but I think he's a good football player.
I feel like the Mike Green stuff's getting not glossed over, but there's more of an understanding of what happened. Now, I don't know what's going on with Walter though.
Yeah, I don't know either. I've asked. All those Ole Miss guys are guys who really I wonder what's happening down there with they have Jared Ivey and Princely Umanmielen and Walter Nolan, and yet the only player they really let get aggressive and attack was Walter Nolan, and his foot quickness is ridiculous. His first step is incredible. It's just there's not a lot of significant playmaking after that first step quickness pops. So, is he for everybody? No. And then you have to question. You hear some stuff, and then he falls after. That's one of the things that it's important to remember is he just met with everybody, right? And all these people, at least like the Daniel Jeremiahs of the world, they hear this stuff, and you can go look. Like you can see Jeremiah's stuff from Senior Bowl, and you can see after the combine. And if a player like Walter Nolan is falling, it's because he's heard some things about either character or some teams didn't like him or whatever it is. The player is the player, and the film is the film still. So, it's always a tell when stuff like that happens.
And I think that character stuff's important in the Lions too. Otherwise,
if you're
wearing a fucking 98 Jalen Carter jersey,
yeah.
Oh my god. Kenneth Grant fell 8 spots down his big board too. I don't know what. I know he got hurt. That would make sense probably. Like bigger frame, a little bit too twitchy. If it's not worked out properly before the game, might be hurting yourself. I don't know.
Yeah. Scott, before we get you out of here, we did have a question in the chat from Charles McLean, and he no relation to John McClain. He asked about Deone Walker from Kentucky. This is he's a defensive tackle. He's 6'7", 330 pounds, moves all around the place, could do a lot of different things. Is really projecting to be a guy that the Detroit Lions would like to get, that type of size and speed, quickness, a versatile player on that defensive line. And they believe he's from Detroit, right? He's from Detroit or from Michigan at least.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd be there at 60 for the Lions?
Yeah, I think he will be, and I would expect him to be a third-round player. I know he's versatile and all that stuff, but the size sometimes can be a hindrance. He's a huge guy.
Yeah.
Right. So, The problem with those guys is always going to be leverage and pad level. At 6'7", it's going to be really, really tough for him, especially if he starts to add some bad weight. It is going to be so hard for him not to stand straight up. I think that's a little bit of some of the Grant issue also.
Yeah.
Some of those guys, they stand straight up and they just sort of lean instead of staying low and playing with leverage, and it's really hard to play snap in, snap out, and to give effort, play after play after play when you're as big as he is. So I would expect him to be a round 3 kind of guy. It would, if the Lions pick him at say pick 102, okay, great, it's cool. I think that would be totally fine.
I'm looking more at the guy out of Nebraska. What's it? I can't remember his name. The defensive tackle from Nebraska. He's a big guy too, a tweener.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in this class that are like that. That are are they three techs? Are they 5s? Mm-hmm. Some guys that you probably aren't going to play outside, right? Like this is a really unique class. Aeneas Peebles is one of the tweeners. He's really small, but that dude,
it's like a Tasmanian
that
devil.
dude gets after it.
Yeah.
Right, but he's really undersized, so they'd have to kind of. You're thinking Ty Robinson.
Ty Robinson, yes.
Yeah. So
he had a crazy combine too.
He did. He is. He measured. I want to say. Strange body as well. He's like 6'5" and 285 range. Mm-hmm. So he's he's going to be more of a 3 tech, 5 tech type. A bit of a more linear, heavier Pascal kind of player, but the penetration is good, and it's another issue. Dudes who are 6'5" and 6'6" and all that stuff that are defensive linemen are going to have issues with leverage. Yeah. That's one of his problems, and then you throw in the idea that he's 285, whatever he is, pounds. He's going to get moved off the ball, so you have to get comfortable with. You have to be comfortable with that, and then you think, is this a situational player where maybe he's a pass rush only kind of player? But as a depth player later in the draft, yeah, he's a fine piece to build around. Sure.
Scott, I appreciate you, man. Tomorrow, you and I doing another draft breakdown over on LNU. Appreciate you for joining me for that, too. Anything else you want to promote while we got you here?
No. We're good.
Appreciate you so much, Scott.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, guys. Look forward to the next one.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I think we're doing your boy G.I. Campbell.
Yeah.
A couple of linebackers and then some offensive guards, too. If you guys want specific names, put them in the chat or DM me on IG or not IG, I'm sorry, Twitter on X.
Tay Ratledge again.
Yeah, he's on there.
Double breakdown.
Just
list. Got it today on heavyweights. We got it tomorrow on LNU.
I know you dropped viewership with that one. 3rd round guard. What are we doing?
Hey, man. Spenny guy. He's a spenny guy. All right, let's go to break, and I'll tell you guys.
Who's my spinny little guy?
My little spinny guy. Let's go to break. I'm going to tell you guys about Lady Jane's. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. You can walk in anytime, sit down, relax, get a haircut, award-winning haircut, hot leather, neck shave, scalp massage, hot towel treatment, all from one of our lovely, talented stylists. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Doctor, give me the news. I've got a sports injury for you. Dr. Jeff Pierce is the guy that you got to hit up, whether you're a weekend warrior or Darren McCartney. Darren McCartney. I almost called him David McCartney. Whether you're a weekend warrior or Darren McCartney, Dr. Pierce will keep you in the game. Dr. Jeff Pierce, presented by Michigan Sports and Spine and MRI Southfield. Call him at 248-426-9944.
No music. I said I was a Malik Willis guy. I wanted him here in Detroit.
Smoke weed every day.
Whether you're a weekend warrior or Dale McDonald.
David McCartney.
What up, though? Welcome back to Whatever Waits Live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm Eazy, joined by Small Action, Chris, Nicholas Koloff.
Let's go.
I don't think I crashed out. You were trying to get me there.
I was trying to get you there.
I was too.
Hell yeah, I was edging you. I would crash out.
Relax. Oh, my. This guy's on one today. Shout out to...
I am a fan of guys with big butts.
I can't read this entire name, actually. It says U-Skull, podcast.
McCartney.
It says, I think the Max Miles Saquon signings got Brad thinking saving some money to pay the greatest running back, D. Gibbs Hutch, cause the tag will harm relationship. Maybe.
Huh?
Maybe saving up
100%.
some money. Those are two big contracts coming. Gibbs, once it's there, it'll be a big contract in running back world, but running backs aren't paid that much. That's why I never understood why stupid teams like the Giants are like, yeah, $12 million is too much for an elite guy that's going to affect the game. 12 million is nothing in today's NFL. For a guy like that,
and then you pay Darius Slayton $11 million or whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he definitely wants to.
Shout out tortas.
Shout out to all the fucking tortas. He wanted to.
I love me a good torta.
Dude, nothing wrong with a torta.
We get your training reps in on tortas.
Facts.
I'm a pro.
Facts. He wanted.
Beating the fucking biscuits out there. Lettuce flying everywhere.
Try harder. He wanted to save some money, obviously. He's not going to sign any of these big deals. So what that guy said was true, that he's looking forward to signing Aiden Hutchinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Jameson Williams. But still, would I have liked to see him keep Zeitler? Yeah, I would have. Yeah, he should.
Yeah, I would. We want to say something, Nick?
No, man, you guys are being funny.
Yeah, we're pretty high. I'm not going to lie.
Both
Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you smash the like button.
Smash that like button. Proud Torta Pounders.
Proud Torta Pounder.
Oh, brother.
Let's go. Ándale. Viva la raza. I don't even know where I was going to go with this one. I guess.
We started talking tortas. Now we got tortas on the brain.
We do have tortas.
Yo quiero tortas, says Cliff K.
Tortas.
A lot of torta love in the chat. I like it.
I would usually ask you guys this if we were
to play nose tackle,
We did sign a torta to play nose tackle.
318.
Shout out Roy Lopez.
Roy Lopez.
Shout out Cliff Calendar. All right. Fellas, I would usually have you guys grade the signings during around the league, but we don't have one today. So today, I want to ask you guys, what would you grade the Levi Onwuzurike signing for the Detroit Lions, knowing that you just lost your starting right guard, Kevin Zeitler?
It's a 1-year deal, so it's kind of like a prove it situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Only like $5 million, up to $5 million.
Up to 5.5.
So I'm gonna give it a B. You know, if it works out, obviously that grade gets higher. But like as of now, reactionary to it, B plus.
Shout out to Byrne. He says in the Woodward Sports chat with the super chat, hey, Roy Lopez, his draft sheet said big butt. Shout out to Tortas.
You know what? I hope he has a fucking sick season this year. So we play that video. Shout out to the fucking Tortas.
Yeah.
And then go straight to a Roy Lopez highlight reel.
Or we should make shirts.
What?
Torta.
Torta.
Have a picture of Roy Lopez.
Roy Lopez? I'm down. That's his new nickname here, by the way.
Yeah, he's the Torta for sure.
Charles McClain gets it double Fs.
Double Fs.
That's aggressive.
Big titties.
Those are big titties.
Big old ones.
I want it.
Never mind. I'm going to restrain myself from saying. I'll tell you a break.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 1-year deal. Like you said, you needed the help. This is a guy that showed he could play last year and could stay healthy. You
He
needed
played
him.
16 games last year, guys.
Played
We
16 games
We can't
last
play
year.
that injury card anymore.
You needed him, especially with Ali McNeil going to be out for probably the first 4 to 6 games of the year. You're going to need a guy in there.
What the fuck?
He's going to start the year on the pup. And it's at least 4 weeks.
I know. I just don't want to hear it out loud.
Yeah. But that's unfortunately what it is. And so you needed a guy in there. And you got him and Wingo now at that rotational 3-tech spot.
There's still something coming up, man. Something's got to be cooking. But I guess since we kind of talked about the nickname Torta,
shout out
Roy Lopez.
Malcolm
You
Rodriguez.
guys saw him. We signed Roy Lopez last night. Was it a $4 million deal?
I don't know. I just saw 1 year.
It
was like 4.6.
Yeah, 4.6. I'm sure it's another one of those worth up to. He's kind of been a bit of a journeyman from the Texans to the Cardinals.
Started 16 games last year for the Cardinals.
Strong motherfucker.
Yes.
You go watch some stuff I posted on my Twitter today at @SpeakySports_. Make sure you follow. But I think he's a strong guy that can anchor during versus the run. I think that's what he's going to be asked to do here specifically and plays a nose tackle. I know his run grade per PFF wasn't great, but he has tape where he is playing pretty good against the run. And obviously, I think you leave him on 1-on-1. If you got Ali McNeil or DJ Reader or Aiden Hudson or Davenport, he's going to win that rep.
Yeah.
And he's going to get after the quarterback. He may not get the sack, but the pressure alone.
Get some pressure on there.
He had 18 pressures last year and just limited snaps, which is pretty good. I think I had a sack as well.
Yeah, he played 50% of the snaps for the Cardinals defense last year. Started 16 games, like you said. He had only the 1 sack, but he's
a nose tackle.
He's a nose tackle. Yeah. You don't expect him to make sacks.
A forced fumble as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a depth piece.
Yeah,
like I said.
He's 52nd in hurries for 15.
Shout out to the
69th with hits and 2. Yeah, 18 total pressures. And then honestly, I really, really do like this. And it does rank within the top 10. 3 batted passes.
Mhm.
I don't know who that was against.
I saw that too.
I feel like there's context there, but
getting them big meaty paws.
That's an awareness there, though. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna get the pressure and you're not gonna get the sack, and this is something I think Shamar Stewart can develop into, because he has such long, rangy arms. I think he'll play a little bit inside too. Is get those hands up.
Yep.
JJ swat, baby. That's why he was so elite. Beyond just getting the sacks, he'd swat the ball down. He wasn't getting there.
Absolutely.
But I like the Roy
Eazy
Lopez
compares Roy Lopez to JJ Watt.
This is your headline. If you follow your boy on X, I said this is your replacement for Pico.
Yeah,
Kyle
Pico. For sure. And you didn't get anything out of Kyle Pico last year, but it would have been nice.
4-6 games.
Would have been nice to have him down the stretch. So it's good to have Roy Lopez in here. Like I said, a debonair, handsome individual said that we needed some defensive tackle depth, and you got 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cool with that.
And I think you got 1 at each spot too.
Yes.
Like Roy's your rotational guy for
Body,
DJ. Levi's your one for Lee.
Yeah.
And he can bounce outside if you need him.
Exactly.
But what are you grading that one, Nick? The torta.
The torta.
Levi the torta. Oh,
No, Roy Lopez is the torta. The torto.
I'm going with
probably torto.
I'm going with the C.
C. I don't hate that.
It's chill.
C.
C for chill. It's a chill
Chris.
signing. Yeah, I looked into it.
C.
I mean, he was
crazy.
He was durable. He was durable last year. I mean, I didn't know much about the guy before I looked him up. Yes, last night. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know depth pieces on the Arizona Cardinals defensive line. I mean, it seems like
You weren't
he's
locked
gonna be
into Roy Lopez film last year,
Roy
bro.
Lopez.
Fired.
No, but I do love me some good old Bria tacos. Birria. Depends who's saying it. But yeah, all right, back to the desk. I don't have a big breakdown. I give it a C. I don't think it's flashy. I do like the depth that it brings.
Yeah, it's what you needed.
Shout out to You School podcast. What is that full name?
Depends who's saying it.
Von Perfect, Brad Guy, injury prone. I give 8 sacks.
I don't know, but shout out to You Schooled podcast.
Shout out to You School podcast. I'm trying to see the full name.
Von Miller is who he's saying.
Yeah.
And Scott said, he put Von Miller's name out there too, pretty casually. Do you think he's a perfect Brad guy or I don't think so.
I don't necessarily agree with Scott in that one. No. He's a DPR guy at this point, and we don't entertain that.
Stafford Jersey in the Woodward Sports Chat with the
Shout
Super
out.
Chat. He said, not going to lie, did know who Roy Lopez was, but then watched him. Oh, didn't. I think he meant.
Yeah.
Didn't know who Roy Lopez was, but then watched him sack and force a fumble on Josh Allen on a highlight.
That's a good highlight.
That is a good highlight.
That is a good highlight because Josh Allen tore us a new asshole.
Yeah, he's the MVP.
He's a dog.
He's
an
dog.
alien.
Confirmed dog.
Whatever word you'd like to use for him, Josh Allen was that, and he came here and he Whooped our ass. Oh, it really is U-School ... podcast. That is it.
Oh.
I thought it was just going ... because it was like a super long name or something like that. What? I clicked on his full profile to find out.
Let's go to break. We're going to come back.
Roy gonna be
We're going to
tearing it
talk
up.
some more about the Detroit Lions and Kevin Zeitler and what that means for them going forward.
Easy does Lopez come with a lime and rice? That's
pushing.
Yeah, that's pushing it.
Pushing the line right there for sure.
I'm just reading it. I'm not saying it. I'm reading it.
Yeah, way to go, Easy. All right, but let me tell you guys about Buddy's Pizza. Buddy's Pizza created the category of the original Detroit-style pizza and has been serving it since 1946. With 22 locations in Michigan, there is always a Buddy's near you. With Buddy's is a cornerstone of the city of Detroit, being here for 79 years and is a dedicated community partner. With notable partnerships with local organizations like Michigan Humane Society, Salvation Army, and the Detroit Zoo. Save 10% off your entire order using promo code 10MEAL. That's promo code number 10 MEAL. Go find a location near you at buddyspizza.com.
Woodward Sports is at it again, giving away more cash and prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge, powered by Jug and Nathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and get first place, you win $1,000 cold hard cash. But it doesn't stop there. Second place gets a weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch at Erie and golf. Third place, 2 club seats to see the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. You can pre-register now at woodwardsportsbracket.com. That's woodwardsportsbracket.com. Then, after Selection Sunday, fill out your bracket for your chance at $1,000 in cash money and more. Pick by mascot, choose by team colors, have your dog pick. No matter how you do it, go to woodwardsportsbracket.com right now and register. All powered by the best in the game, Chuck and Nathan Neurosurgery and Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Shout out to Josh Cannabis. I got the top shelf quality, unmatched variety, and price for the people is where I stop at when I have to pop in. I don't crash out my guy, Brad Holmes. ShopJars.com to find one near you, or find one in Grand Rapids coming soon, Milan coming soon, and Madison Heights coming soon.
Stop out, pop in, crash out.
I mean, that's such a weak argument because I like the guy at number 2 and I stuck by my guns. To me, Malik Willis is still the most talented quarterback in this draft. I don't care that they took Kenny Pickett first. That doesn't matter to me. And who cares where Malik Willis went? Once we see Malik Willis play, then we can discuss whether he was worthy enough for that number 2 pick. What the hell is wrong with that logic? Tell me. Tell me what's wrong with that logic.
I'm
love
gonna
pull
it.
a Neil Rule.
I love it. That finally somebody else has got to deal with this. Finally somebody else has got to deal with this. I like having a shift off stick.
Yeah,
That's
I don't care. I'll deal with it because I'll stand by anything I said. I'll stand by anything I said.
Whoa. I thought we were the flip-floppers. That's the crazy part. I think it's more disrespectful to the listener to think that they're going to buy and believe in that bullshit time and time after again when shit like this exists. That's disrespectful to you guys. They think you're the dumbass. There's no fault for that. They only hype you up. Pathetic master manipulators. That's all I see. And it's crazy that the reason why a lot of these people, a lot of you guys in the chat, the Gobblers, the Gooners, don't like me is because I've never given Goff that praise. How could I ever be the fucking flip-flopper when I'm the guy you hate because I don't D-ride him? That's just, you can't be that guy with that video evidence out there on view speaking up against the guy you want to replace Jared Goff, and then call other people flip-floppers. That's the craziest shit to me. I think it's disrespectful to the audience, and damn sure when you lie on me, it's disrespectful to me. And as this time gets called out, you tell a lie on me, I'm going to tell the truth about you. That's all I'm saying.
That's interesting.
He's a big Jared Goff guys in the network, huh?
Yeah.
That's what's wild, because they're
Day
all
one.
about Malik Willis.
Day one.
They're all about it. That's crazy to me. Wild.
Oh, it's interesting.
Interesting. Speaking of interesting, because this is toxic, spreading across multiple shows now.
Yeah.
Your boy Unky Neal is taking shots at Ryan Ermanni because he had this to say. Go ahead and run this clip, Chris.
After 48 hours of this negotiating period, I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl under this current state right now. I think it can happen, but I'm over 50% now in my Super Bowl meter that is going back and forth. My Super Bowl meter was once here at 100. Then it was about 60%. They're going to win, I think, but I'm not really sure. Now it's at about 25%.
Oh.
My Super Bowl meter is about 25% as it stands right now with the information that we have right now. Because I don't believe, and I've said this before, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I do not believe you can draft your way to a championship.
Logically,
That's wrong.
no.
You can draft your way to a championship.
Oh, you can draft your way
the
to a
Eagles
championship.
did. The Chiefs did.
You can draft. Well, there's trades and stuff too. Like that's the okay. Let me just spell that first and foremost right away. There's no fucking one way to kill a cat or skin a cat, whatever they try to say it is. Like that one's fully drafting a team and not signing any free agents and winning the Super Bowl. No one's only signing free agents and just drafting whoever winning a Super Bowl. It's a healthy mix of both.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk about Detroit Lions situation, we traded for Jared Goff, so technically we wouldn't have drafted our way to a Super Bowl. I think that's the dumbest shit to argue back and forth.
And we've also signed David Montgomery and Alex Anzalone and DJ Reader and DJ
Exactly.
Reed. Like, it's not like they don't sign anybody, and they're only putting players out there that they draft. I think that is a misconception as well, because they have signed guys and brought them in. I think you can't injure your way into a Super Bowl. Like you can't. You're not going to win the Super Bowl if the team that you created through the draft and through trades, like you said, Jared Goff trade, Carlton Davis trade. Obviously, we know all the draft picks with Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, Jameer Gibbs, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, so on and so on and so on. Signings like Kevin Zeitler, DJ Reader, David Montgomery, Alex Anzalone, all of those pieces put together made one of the best rosters in football and would have made and won the Super Bowl. I am convinced of it if they hadn't died. If the team didn't all get hurt. And that's what I think Detroit Lions fans are reacting to as well, is that the Detroit Lions players are dead and they're never coming back. Like we're going to see the defense we saw in the playoffs every week next year, because none of the guys that got hurt are going to come back, and we're just stuck with that. You have to do both. You have to sign, trade, and draft well. Drafting well is extremely important, especially when you have a lot of free agents. But also, you can look at the Eagles last year. They grabbed a piece that put them over the edge. And although he didn't do much in the Super Bowl, Saquon Barkley was a big reason why they were in the Super Bowl. So you need to do them all, but I don't think that – I think that saying they're not going to win a Super Bowl under Brad Holmes is a little aggressive.
Well, to be fair, though, he didn't say that. He just said, as it sits right now, he's down to 25%. But when Neil spins shit like that, then it becomes, he says he'd never win the Super Bowl under Brad Holmes. Like, I understand how that works. But I just said the same thing earlier, just in a different way, though. Like it wasn't as dramatic, but I said, yeah, you know what, right now, I'm not as gun-ho as I was last year. And that's fair. You said it's fair. It's a different coordinator. You got different guys on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
The team is going to be we're going to be good. But, yeah, if you want to knock down your odds of winning the Super Bowl to 25% until you know, some other shit is hitting the field and you get a sense and feel for it, I don't hate that.
And what did they say about the Eagles before February? Jalen Hurts can't win a Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni's not going to win a Super Bowl. These moves that they're making aren't going to get it done. It's so I kind of like having the discourse between fans. Because I feel like when you don't have the discourse of, is this team cooked? Or are they ready to go? And everybody's like, oh, they're no doubt winning the Super Bowl 100%. Everything they've done is perfect forever.
Yeah.
That never works out.
Now, I didn't know this part from Cody Ingle saying he said the Lions might not be a top 5 NFC team.
I didn't hear him say that.
I didn't hear him say that, but if you did say that, that's off the deep end. Like
That's
you're incorrect in that. Because as far as I see the NFC right now, there's 3 teams off the top of my head. It's the Lions, Eagles, Commanders. Is there another one I'm missing?
No, but I do think the Packers and Bears are going to be competing for, obviously, the playoffs. And this division, I mean, we'll see what the Vikings look like, but this is definitely an overreaction. It is kind of hard to look back to when this team was, firing on all cylinders when they were 12-1 before that, Buffalo game. And that was without Hutch. If Hutch is in that Buffalo game, that's a different game. Now you're looking at a 13-1 possibly. This team was elite.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball. Full stop. They were getting turnovers on the back end. They were getting to the quarterback. And they had the best offense in the league. I full-heartedly believe this team would have won the Super Bowl last year if healthy. Full stop. That's it. And I think everybody's forgetting what this team looks like. Full of all pros when they're all healthy. This team is dominant.
For sure.
Let's not forget that. This team ran the division when hurt. Just because everybody else is making splash signings right now, let's not forget how good and how talented this team is with mostly young talent that Brad Holmes drafted.
And 15 guys on IR. That's what it is for me.
This team, real quick, I apologize. Tag this in it, at least me. Oh, no, we just did it in the chat. It's the top 5 blowouts from last season. It was us versus the Cowboys, us versus the Jags, us versus the Titans. There's only one other team on that list. You know what it was? The Philadelphia Eagles. Detroit Lions, had we stay healthy, probably would have won a Super Bowl last year.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
If they want to bring pieces of that back, and they want to run it back with guys that have some sort of continuity within that locker room before. Obviously, Johnny Moe was here previously just for 1 year, but he helped kind of establish a little bit of things. Obviously, Kelvin Shepard's been here the entire way through. They obviously believe they have a winning recipe. You can't deny they have a winning recipe. Now, was the schedule a lot weaker, per se, last year? Yes, but that doesn't mean you're a bad team. They're still 15-2 is amazing. And that's while you're losing somebody every fucking week. They're still going to make the playoffs, and if they're healthy enough, they'll have a shot.
Yeah.
You can't kick them out of the top 5. I don't think you want to be in the top 5. If you're talking your conference, you want to be top 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
that's it.
And Neil made a good point. At the trade deadline and in free agency, where were the balances of power shifted in the NFL in the free agent market? Where was this big? Oh shit! Look, this team that was already a juggernaut just got a can't-miss piece that's going to help them be even more of a Super Bowl. The winners of free agency were the Commanders and the Patriots, in my mind.
Yeah.
So
Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
But back-to-back
off-season champs.
You know what I'm saying?
The Lions are still going to win their division this year. The Lions are still going to be a top 3 team in the NFC this year. And
the type of moves you want to crash out about. Healthy. Or freak out about, if you want to overreact in a good way, overreact in a negative way, in my opinion, that's qualified is in the mid-season, at the trade deadline, like we did 2 years ago. Because I think we were qualified to say we had a team that felt like you could contend. You were just missing a little bit of this on defense, and you didn't. You failed to do it. I don't know if obviously maybe somebody outbidded Brad. I don't know what that situation was, but that's when teams make those swings. Like an example, when the Rams went ahead and they added Von Miller. Or before when Jared Goff was there and they added Jalen Ramsey. They added mid-season guys, and then it swung because you already knew what you had as a team. Off-season, you don't know what your team is. We've seen this many, many times. I remember the Dream Team was the nickname before these guys even played, the Philadelphia Eagles, with Mike Vick, Nnamdi Osunwa. It had everybody, Shady McCoy, Deshaun Jackson. I don't even think they made the playoffs. And that was, I think Andy Reid coached that team, if not mistaken. You gotta wait till the season. When the season starts, if you make a move, then you can start saying that's a big swing. Yeah. Or if you're already a contending team, then you go ahead and add a Von Miller or Miles, whoever it may be, that type of guy. Yeah.
I do think it's a different time that we're in, though. I do think that Brad Holmes would not pass on making a move at the trade deadline. Now, he did make a move last trade deadline. It wasn't the biggest move. It wasn't a blockbuster move, but I think he did genuinely believe that the Lions weren't ready for a Super Bowl last year, or 2 years ago, sorry, at the trade deadline. And I was with you guys. I was crashing out about it too. But I think now I won't hold that against Brad, because now I think he is in that Super Bowl window. And I do think that if this team come midseason still feels like they're a piece away, is going to make a move. So I can't really harken back to that part too much, because I feel like that was just a different era in time. Even though I don't disagree, I just don't feel like Brad Holmes is in that same mindset, that state that he was 2 trade deadlines ago.
And the team you saw in the playoffs last year, that's not what this team was at the beginning of the season. That's not what we're going to be like this season with these healthy pieces back. I've said it a million times, but like I think everyone should take that and kind of scrap it a little bit. The pieces you can be concerned about are more on the offensive side of the ball. Jared Goff throwing the 3 interceptions, the fumble, like shit like that. Yeah, I think is valid. But you want to talk about that defense? The defense getting destroyed, brother. No one was fucking 22 people. Mm-hmm. You have a roster of 53. That's over half. If my math's correct, I'm way off on that one.
Not correct.
But it's very close to half. Nearly half, I should have said.
Close to half.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Burn in the Woodward Sports Chat with the Super Chat. He says Packers are poor and can't sign free agents or even their own guys. Vikings have a rookie quarterback and miss me on the Bears until week 17, and they're above 500.
Okay.
Yeah, the Lions are still going to win their division, man. I'm not worried about it.
No. All right, let me tell you guys about Woodward Socials. It's going to be a great Lions season, so make sure you are tapped into the best Detroit sports network there is, the best digital network, Woodward Sports. Follow them at Woodward Sports on YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch. Again, the best digital sports network right here, Woodward Sports.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Make sure you tap in, use code word Woodward1000, scan the QR code above my head, and your first bet up to $1,000 will be risk-free, meaning you'll get it back in bonus bets. Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports.
Guys, I've been a Malik Willis guy since day one.
Yeah.
I still think the Lions should possibly take him at number 2 if that's the route you want to go.
I mean, you ain't got to put it on. You let him roll at this point. I think what's been exposed has been exposed. And anybody wants to fall for any other bullshit at this point, I mean, you're an idiot.
Boom. And the big news that came out during our show, is Super Juggernaut 87 in there, says buy Zeitler, because Kevin Zeitler is reportedly ready to sign a 1-year, $9 million deal with the Tennessee Titans. And Lions fans are upset about it, and rightfully so. You know, Kevin Zeitler was a very good player for you last year. He was a very important piece of that offensive line. But I'm not stressing over it too much. I believe in Graham Glasgow, and I believe in Christian Mahogany. And I said it before, I think that right guard spot on the Detroit Lions is the most insulated position in the NFL. You are in between Frank Ragnow and Penei Sewell. We've seen Graham Glasgow, Kevin Zeitler, Coyote Osaka, even Dan Skipper in different opportunities in that right guard spot come in there and perform at a high level. Now, I think they move Graham Glasgow back to right guard where he played well before, which is his natural position. You put the dirtbag, Christian Mahogany, at the left guard spot, and you ride out with that. I'm not too worried about losing Kevin Zeitler. Would I like him back? Would I have liked the Lions to sign him to keep the continuity? Sure. That frees up Graham Glasgow to maybe be your backup rotational interior offensive lineman. But I'm fine with Graham and Christian going forward. I think they are more than capable. And like I said, I think playing in between arguably the best center in the league, Frank Ragnow, and inarguably the best tackle in the league, Penei Sewell, makes good to great offensive guards look great to amazing.
Amen.
What are you listening to over there?
Nothing.
You watching Hoop Mixtapes?
I apologize. Speakeasy, that's the route you want to go, which is the part you do not understand. Also, Skydog. What are we doing?
He throws stuff out there. He does. That's what he does. Appreciate you, Skydog.
I'm gonna let it go.
Jose Zamora in the Woodward Sports Chat said, "This is the only Woodward show that knows football, but I'll tell you this team is getting worse, not better."
I can't say worse.
Can't say worse, but you can't say better
But
either.
you can't say better. That's where I was going to go. Like, I don't think you can say worse because they were still a good team last year.
Yeah.
But you can't say they've gotten better. And that's completely fair.
Is this team right now on paper better than the Detroit Lions week 1 last year? Absolutely not.
No.
Is this team right now on paper better than the Detroit Lions were week 17 last year? Absolutely. And that's what it is. The guys coming back are going to, like I said before, Aiden Hutchinson being healthy is more important than any free agent you could sign. So, again, I want them to still get an edge rusher to also throw in that combination with Marcus Davenport and Josh Pascal and potentially a rookie on the outside. But I said it on LNU. I'll say it again. Brad Holmes is looking for his guy that he's going to put opposite of Aiden Hutchinson in this draft to be a rookie on a rookie contract for the next 5 seasons that you can put next to Aiden Hutchinson while he's making $40 million a season. So that's where you're going to get your splash. And I was happy with the Roy Lopez signing. I was happy they brought back Levi Onwuzurike. They've made some other depth pieces here or there that it's fine. You brought in guys. There's no big deal there. Retaining Craig Reynolds. But losing Kevin Zeitler, it does suck, but it's not the end of the world. That isn't this position where you're lacking on talent. I'll say that. And I think you can draft a piece there as well. Like I said, Tate Ratledge in the 3rd round, I would be very happy with that. You say better if they can stay healthy, says Just a Fan. Absolutely. And like I said,
well, the thing I remember too, they're not done.
I'm pretty confident in saying that they're not going to have over 20 guys on IR next year. Like, that is an anomaly. You're going to have some injuries because that's what football is. Everybody deals with some injuries. But hopefully not multiple season-ending injuries to star premier players. Like, I'll just say that.
The most important piece to remember if you're comping this year's team to last year's team is that this year's team's not done being cultivated. You still have the rest of this free agency. You have the guys who can cut in training camp. And most importantly, you have the draft, too.
Draft class.
So I think that's just where you have to be as a person that's kind of getting impatient, is just remind yourself that this is not done. It's not a finished process. I think if you're getting pretty damn close to looking like a Super Bowl contender again at some point next year, that Brad's going to pick up the phone as well. And maybe this time he is going to full swing because next year's fleet of contracts is going to be even more. From Brian Branch to Gibbs, Laporta, J-Mo. Like, it's just shit's gonna start winding down here soon, and it's gonna be a final countdown type of shit. That's why I love Booner, but the Booner path wasn't a forever thing. You get veered off sometimes. You get back on once you have the right pieces in place in terms of front office and head coaching. But that's the tough part about the NFL is your coaching's constantly getting poached. Your front office is constantly getting poached. If you're doing really well as an organization, people are going to want your – we got Brad Holmes from the LA Rams, right? We got Dan Campbell from the Saints. Like, these guys are constantly getting poached from us, and he's the weather of the storm. But I think we have the culture in place to just be good. And once they hit the field, I'll be able to get a feel for the Super Bowl. I'm a little sad. I liked it better when I was certain of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want anybody jumping off the cliff here, Don't swerve off the road. This Lions team's going to be just fine.
I'm going to swerve
there.
on that corner.
Whoa. Just hold on tight because I'm tweaking. All right. Giovanni Manu, fellas. That name's been popping, flying over in the chat. Where are you guys at with Manu? I mean, this was one of Brad Holmes' guys where he went up and got Manu. He was a project. You are now at year 2. I think we can say for almost certain Broderick Martin was a failed draft pick. At least in my eyes, it was.
Yes, I think you could
Broderick was a fail. We don't know on Manu yet.
No. And we weren't supposed to.
And we weren't supposed to. Do you guys expect Manu to maybe get some snaps this season if somebody goes down?
Yes. I thought... Oh, we didn't even mention...
I don't know with the Dan Skipper re-signing.
Shout out Skip. Shout out Skip.
I think he still might be a little bit of a developmental piece.
I think
Skip over there puking in the trash can.
Whatever you're doing, Skip.
Unlike the flip-floppers like Stick and Neil, like I've really been consistent on the 3-year thing. And I don't know if Manu, I think it would be Manu's 3rd year before you find out what you got there, or at least until you start seeing him.
Yeah, I think he was drafted.
I love for him to be a jumbo.
His plan to be, and they're grooming him to be Taylor Decker's successor. I believe that's the plan with Manu. So hopefully we don't see him this year, but you never know.
Keitho, try Manu at D-line. Nah, brother, I'm not opposed. That guy's a freak.
He is a freak.
He's a freak athlete, giant human being. He definitely clogged up some holes. Pause. Hell yeah. What are the Cowboys doing? Easy. Don't sign Derrick Henry and sign Rico, and he did really good, and then you let him go. The Cowboys are.
Who knows? Jerry's asleep at the wheel, if you know what I'm talking about.
So I got my buddy Milan's
moving.
Cowboys fan in our fantasy league. He put something in the chat the other day. They haven't signed a free agent over $6 million, like outside, since I think it was Greg Hardy. It's a long time.
Greg Hardy?
Yeah.
He was getting his ass beat in the UFC for 5 years.
He's getting his ass beat on like the
now,
local markets now, too.
Now he's getting his ass beat
every week.
Backyards.
Which is crazy. Like, that's a giant, scary human.
Chin goes, chin goes.
Chin goes, chin goes.
Bye,
Chin.
Bye, Chin.
I don't want to say
it would suck to be a Cowboys fan for sure.
Goff is going to learn to run this season, or he going to be killed, says Jose.
I disagree.
Brother, he ain't running.
The
most you're getting out of him in that aspect is what we saw.
And I don't
year.
think Goff is going to be under any more pressure this year than he was last year.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
We talked about the Super Bowl and obviously like what it would take. I looked back at the quarterbacks and that are maybe comparable. You think about like an Eli Manning. You think about a Nick Foles. You think about a Joe Flacco. Like those guys all had extremely talented teams around them, which I think the Lions have. I think they can get the job done with Jared Goff. I'm not going full.
Wait.
Well, yeah, relax. Joe Flacco did his
Joe Flacco was elite.
You take that one back right now.
He had a cannon of an arm.
Joe Flacco had one of the best postseason runs.
That was one of the best postseason runs.
Yeah,
all
it
time.
was. Well, we haven't seen Goff's yet.
We have. He threw one touchdown in a Super Bowl run.
Well, we haven't seen his special
that was
Super
aggressive.
Bowl.
Sorry,
Jesus.
Just
Spetty, tell me how you really feel. How do you feel about that?
I like Joe Flacco, and that fucking season he was going nuts, dude.
Who was it? Torrey?
It was that
Torrey Cole or no?
Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith
and Jacoby Jones.
Yeah.
Hitting Jacoby Jones on deep balls.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Before that, I mean,
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Flacco's not, some.
Yeah.
This team has so much talent around Jared Goff. He's going to be able to do it. The O-line just needs to keep him upright. which we saw he fell apart when they did.
Yeah. Golf runs better than Mitchell, says Shane D. It's a low bar, but hey, take the dubs when you can. I still have faith in Jared Goff. He played a bad game. He picked a bad day to have a bad game. We've seen him go out there and we've seen him execute in the playoffs before. Like, nobody blames him for what happened in San Francisco. That wasn't his fault. He played a good game. I blame him a lot for what happened in Detroit against Washington. And I think if you don't, then you got to pull the shaft out of your mouth. But no, I still have faith in Jared Goff to go out there and get it done.
I'm glad you got that.
You don't?
Do you not?
I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'm lost on everything anymore. That was a very disappointing outing. And you already know how I felt. I never flip-flopped like the other guys in that worked between, not the other guys, but the other guy between 11 and 1. I never flip-flopped on that one. I've never really been convinced of it. I thought last year was the closest to that being proven wrong, and I said that, had my reasons. We played the Tom Brady video, 6-6-24. Was it 6-22-24, whatever it was. But when Tom Brady went on Cowherd, he was like, yeah, we had the continuity. We had the cohesiveness, and that really helped me out a lot because I wasn't the most agile guy. I wasn't the most this, but I knew where everyone was going to be. We've been running that same system with Josh McDaniels for X amount of years. No matter who I threw in there, if they're running that route, bang, I know they're right there. If my offensive linemen, if it was certain shit that we did struggle with, they were well aware of it, and I would let them know before the play was snapped. Or certain moves or certain plays or audibles that stop plays that really were successful, then you allow yourself to audible out of it. The continuity was there. Different system this year, but you do have a guy that helped build the initial one of it, so
okay.
You'll still be good.
14 grit in the Woodward Sports chat.
14 grit.
The major assets of the Lions offense is the offensive line. We no longer have a top 5 line. So, okay. Apparently, Kevin Zeitler was the reason we had the best offensive line in football.
I mean, it's not as good as it was.
Is it top 5?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I have a barn burner. I have a barn burner of a question, fellas, for you guys. When we
You want to save for break?
Yeah.
All right.
We saw Kevin Zeitler go in there at right guard and perform well. They're going to be fine.
Kevin Zeitler was really good.
I meant we saw Dan Skipper go in there at right guard and perform very well. They're going to be fine.
Tell us about Feldman then, brother.
Feldman, Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the Chevrolet Dealer of the Year for 6 consecutive years. Get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew for just $199 a month. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $249 a month. Come see George Hawes and his team at Feldman, Chevrolet of Novi today.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
That's a barn burner of a question, and I'm really looking forward to this one.
Matthew Kruger in the Woodward Sports chat. I trust Dan. I don't know if I trust Brad anymore.
Why? Again, the whole, I wouldn't even allow yourselves to be mad at Brad. Go do yourself the favor, right? So you don't get Neil ruled in life. Like, get the truth. Don't just take what people are telling you. Look it up yourself. Look up the richest owners in the NFL. You'll find Sheila Ford 25 and below. This is how we're going to operate in offseason. I don't necessarily know that this is a character trait of Brad Holmes more than it is like the reality of what we got to work with money-wise. Because you got a whole lot of guys you got to re-sign soon. And we're just not a cash-rich organization like that. I think, if anything, I might trust Brad more. To be honest with you. Because we saw Dan get started, and before Ben got involved, should have looked at shake.
Mm-hmm.
But to your question, the barn burner.
The barn burner here, fellas. All right. When the Lions inevitably draft a defensive lineman in the first round, will that defensive lineman, I'm going to you first, Eazy,
okay,
win a Super Bowl under his rookie contract? Do you believe the Lions will win a Super Bowl during this year's first round draft?
Next 5 years.
Rookie contract.
That's a tough question, man. It depends who that kid is. Like, I mean,
You're putting it on this first rounder.
he would definitely be a part of it, though, right? Like, he would have to be.
No doubt.
Because, like I said, you can't say we got better. And ultimately last year we weren't good enough. So
because of the injuries.
Because of the injuries. And because of Jared Goff. I'm not even.
I know.
Well, no, he should have.
I know.
I know. I got you on that one. But I'm saying, even if you give me the defense that we had to begin the season with, he still threw fucking 3 interceptions and fumbled once.
If you don't fumble in the red zone, there it's 14-3, and your foot's on their throat for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's not gonna help you guys out there. It's not gonna help our defense out in that situation. Like, I don't care what type of fucking defense you got. You turn the ball over enough times, you're not helping them out at all whatsoever.
Yes, I think the Detroit Lions will win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. So yes, I think they will.
Matthew Kruger, Eazy, come on, bro. We own Ford Motor. Brother, look it up. And Ford Motor Company's owned by multiple people. Sheila Ford Hamp is the Lions owner. It's not the whole Ford family. She's just a portion of the Ford company.
Is she like top dog though, at least?
No. That's what the other brother didn't take the team. It's because he's running the company. So she took the team.
Chris, where are you at?
So crazy.
It's you Google.
Oh, Daddy, I don't feel like running our NFL team. I'll just run our multi-billion-dollar company instead.
Yeah. I think the Lions will. I think they will under this rookie contract. I trust Brad to continue to restructure this team as necessary. I think he's done so far for the most part, again, given the incomplete grade that the offseason is not over. But the previous 2 offseasons, he's done well, I think. So I think he's shown you between his ability to draft and the fact that I've liked most of the stuff he's done in the offseason and the fact that I believe that this team was health away from a Super Bowl. I got to believe, yes, that you could punch one in the next 5 years. I really do believe it. But yeah, it's tough. Your window's small, closes fast in this league.
Goddamn right it does.
It's the reality of it, guys. I know it sucks to fucking hear. If you guys feel like life has been sucked out of pause me a little bit here, it's because I'm thinking about that kind of stuff. Nothing's guaranteed forever.
We know, Eazy.
It's not like the people that wanted the 12-year dynasty. That was just never feasible.
All right, Squidward.
It's just never feasible.
That's why 2 years ago I was tripping at the deadline. That's why obviously it didn't happen. It's not Brad's fault, but the Myles Garrett stuff, like, we were fucking there.
Yeah,
we were this close. Just make the move to go over the top. Now, obviously, hindsight, we learned that that's one of the hardest things to do is to trade for an edge rusher mid-season like that. Brad, who has won 2 consecutive Executive of the Year awards, said that's the hardest thing he ever had to do in his professional career as a general manager, was try to acquire an edge rusher in the midseason. And not just any edge rusher, but one of value.
And if you can show me a team that has 2 $40 million edge rushers on it, I'll give you a high five. Like,
sick.
There's a reason it doesn't happen. Like, you can't afford that. And the Bears, we said this the other day, the Bears, they got a bunch of guys in free agency. They overpaid for some of those guys, but they're allowed to do that because they have a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. But when Caleb Williams signs for $50 million a year, They're not going to be able to sign 5 guys to $20 million free agent deals in free agency every year. That's what it is. The Lions never had that where you had a quarterback on a rookie deal and you could spend and bring guys in.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vikings have that. The Bears have that. The Lions don't.
If you want to be positive, though, Brad is nasty in that fucking draft.
Yes, he is.
That is one bad man with the card in his hand.
But if we're going off this 5-year premise, you do have to think about the possibility, and this is going to be a whole nother thing, the possibility of maybe changing quarterback through draft. And the only quarterback Brad's drafted is Hendon Hooker, who doesn't seem like a quality backup. Remember how we had those questions about him with the defensive line in his drafting? I'm just saying that's the thing we haven't seen him draft because he hasn't had to. But if you're going off that 5-year window, you may have to consider a non-Jared Goff quarterback.
He paid Goff. He trusts Goff.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with that one.
Super Bowl.
But Eazy, on the other hand.
Mm-hmm. What?
Just kidding.
What?
But a guy who hates him.
I don't hate Jared Goff. I just don't think he's that kind of guy. And to be fair, though, the quarterback is one of the toughest things to draft. For
I'm not. And Weezy D313 says, y'all were just begging for $2 $40 million edges, F them picks and all that. Exactly. Absolutely. 1,000%.
Well, one was.
Would I rather have Myles Garrett?
No. Yeah, one was under contract control. Myles Garrett didn't have a $40 million deal, but we wanted to trade for Myles Garrett. Yeah. There was contract control. He wanted to win a goddamn Super Bowl. He didn't want a new deal. You could throw in whatever fucking unofficial information you like to fucking twist shit into your way, but he wanted to win a goddamn Super Bowl. He realized the Browns weren't playing, they weren't trading him, so he settled for the money.
And yeah, I would do that for sure.
Brad drafted the receiver in the first round. I don't think there's anybody. Jaden Higgins, maybe?
Yeah, no, they're not getting.
Isn't there a weak
receiver class? No.
Didn't they have the Lions mock to take a receiver? One of the ESPN did or something?
Yeah, I don't even fuck. That
Boo
shit pisses me off.
No.
Let's go to break. We'll come back, do some mailbag, get your questions in there.
Mailbag.
All right, let me tell you guys about the Woodward Sports Bracket Challenge. It is back. Woodward Sports is at it again, giving away more cash prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge powered by Juga Nathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and get first place, you will win $1,000 cold hard cash. Second place gets a weekend trip to Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch and golf. Third place gets 2 club seats to see the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks. That could be a big one as they come down to the 4th seed, courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. You can register now at woodwardsports.com, woodwardsportsbracket.com, after selection Sunday for your chance to win those prizes and many more.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
It's the Les Stanford sign and drive sale. You can get a 2024 Envision for $299 a month, a 2025 Sierra Crew Cab for $229 a month, and a 2025 Hummer EV SUV for $799 per month. Make sure you tap in at Les Stanford. Scan that QR code to see the massive inventory that they've got. Les Stanford Buick GMC, lesstanford.com.
All right, get your mailbags in. Whether it's about the Woodward Sports beef we got brewing between all the shows. Morning show's the only one ducking smoke right now. It's crazy because Sam Flannel, I feel like, would have found himself in this for sure. He will.
Flannel's
He
trying
will.
to keep himself from stuff.
Chris,
I understand.
you got anything to say
I
about
fully
Flannel?
understand. But what do you got
guy.
questions about that?
Yeah,
For
Chris,
real, great
Chris,
guy.
start throwing shots at JB.
Yeah.
He can't TD for shit. You know?
No, chill,
Love you,
chill.
JB. It was a joke. He just deletes all my BDE presets.
Look at you, that'd be so funny.
I'll just go home.
Yeah, Detroit Lions draft questions, Detroit Lions free agency questions. I think the most important thing to remember is to be patient, though, with the entirety of the offseason, because the draft is where Brad does his work. What?
Nothing. I'm just gonna send you a tweet.
All right. Mailbag. The not a top 5 NFC team drop is at 21-23. Damn, Cody Ingle going for the throat. Has a timestamp and everything. If you guys want to hear that, he called them that top 5 team in the NFC. Gotta hear the context where he said it. I'm not gonna just dunk on Ryan without hearing that one. To be honest with you.
I think that's aggressive. Ryan is aggressive though. He's an aggressive man. Speaks with his heart.
That's the other thing too. We got because Ryan's delivery, the way he goes about shit, sometimes poking and prodding. So
Xavier D says mailbag. Any person, real or fictional, throughout the history of time, you get to punch them. You punched like a 16-year-old Mike Tyson, and there are no ramifications. Who would you punch?
Neil Rule. I'm just kidding. Like personal,
probably Hitler.
Within the company or in history?
No, he said anybody. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's tons of people.
Yeah, probably Hitler.
Yeah, I mean
there's not many that are on par with him.
Yeah.
I got some tons of people I'd punch.
Maybe
Mailbag.
Rudy Gobert, he's up there.
If Lions sign Calais
That's
Campbell or
similar.
draft a defensive tackle, does Reader get cut? His production has fallen off a lot. ? I don't think his production's fallen off. I don't think he was as great in the run game as we were expecting when we made the signing. I think he was really good in the pass rushing, which was
I think
a bit of a surprise.
He also
but you would
lost
save
Aiden
$8 million, which would be a lot
for DJ Reader.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're gonna cut DJ.
I don't think they'll cut him either.
And
I think it would have happened.
Yeah.
And if it does, it'll be a training camp thing.
Yeah. They're not cutting.
And by the way, guys, free agents gonna come in training camp as well. We see the situation we're talking about DJ Reader that happens across the league. Every single training camp, a good guy gets
Jack
cut.
Ruby.
Who's Jack
He's crazy. He's the one that killed Lee Harvey Oswald.
What about
him? Is that like a anti-JFK thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's the guy who killed the guy who killed. What?
You know that? Why do you just know that off the top of your head?
That's pretty common, but I mean, remember Jack Ruby's the one that shot him in the jail in front of everybody. He's like, "You killed the president."
Oh yeah.
And then it was just like totally fine.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part about it, bro. Went into jail with the gun.
The coolest one of those I've seen was the dude that was
killed the guy molested his son.
that had his son
Yeah.
kidnapped. He's at the phone. He just turns
phone.
around, boom,
Bow!
headshot.
One shot.
Headshot.
Dog. That
I
was
didn't see that.
a dirty shot, like a
dude,
good
it's
shot. That was wild.
He's like in the he's like in the airport or something, and he's like pretending to use the payphone, and they're walking this guy by, like the FBI's walking with him, and he just turns around and he's just got the snub nose. Bah! Headshot. Dude's dead on the ground. You hear the fucking FBI guy like, "No, Steve," or like he says his name because like obviously knew him. He was part of the trial. Smoked, and then he got away with it. Like they didn't charge him or anything.
I don't know. He might have. I don't know.
Yeah, like fucking
wow.
Total badass move.
Yeah.
I don't know if this burns some of the same thing. He
thought
said
of
that
the-
guy was before he went to trial.
Yeah.
To be fair, something like that happened to my kid.
You have the right to do that. I'm sorry, I don't know if I
It's
can say that.
unfortunate, but yeah.
Remember
I
that
don't think
guy-
it's unfortunate at all. I think the world's better off that happened.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You guys remember the guy that like elbowed his lawyer or whatever, or was it his lawyer where he like kind of, or it was the officer? I think he was just like the cuffs are tight after he got his sentence, and then the cop went to Justin.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember specifically what you're
I
talking
could
about.
punch George R.R. Martin in the face.
Yeah.
Finish
You
the-
definitely would
finish
lose the
the
ending of your
books,
books.
Old fat bitch. He just needs to fucking... Dude, I mean, he had COVID. You're not doing anything for 2 years. Like, you're not going to finish the books then?
House of Dragon.
Fuck that, dude. Give me fucking wins a winner before you give me House of Dragons.
There's another
All
one
that
coming
shit's
up.
already written.
Would you punch Russell Wilson since you can't beat him up actually?
I could beat him up, but I wouldn't need that. I wouldn't waste that on Russell Wilson.
Are you guys watching White Lotus?
No, what's that?
HBO.
I've heard about it.
I've been, man, these.
Yeah, I know Taylor. He's
Lady
never gonna
Janes
finish the
are
book.
Janing today.
Janes
It's
are Janing for
crazy.
sure.
No, I will watch that though.
Dude, you're lucky Chris didn't see that.
CJ Gardner-Johnson.
a
That's
good
a
one.
phenomenal answer.
Hey, boys, must win tonight for the Wings?
Yeah, I
If
guess.
they lose this one, I might just jump off my boat.
Gotta beat the Sabres, dude. You can't lose your 7th in a row to the fucking Sabres, bro. Oh my god, I would.
Oh, almost.
Why'd you even say are they gonna lose it?
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it for us
I
today.
said must win.
Appreciate you tapping in. Make sure you smash the like button for Eazy, for Unky Nick, for Unky Skeet.
Skeet.
How many real good play had Philly last year on the line? Last year, how many have we now? How many do we have now?
Well, see you later. Peace.